What's up? Happy Monday. We back in the place to be. I have this video on my alarm system because my husband had a car show this weekend that he was just going to go hang out at the car show. Like, he didn't, do all the fancy stuff. That's us as a family on the couch. As you can see, I was couch rotting this day. But, my husband didn't expect to win anything. He just was going to go hang out. But they gave him this huge trophy. Like, here I am chilling. The wife will have to come through with this.
Dad, today. No.
Like, why? And then he thought he was going to put that up on my mantle, but I was like, no, bro, take that to the man cave. But that trophy was so huge, it cracked me up how massive it was. Because it's just like you literally just took your car out there and parked it amongst cars, and then somebody gave him this, huge trophy. It was funny, I guess, It was like he won an Olympics. Speaking of Olympics, I watched that a lot this weekend. Watched House of Dragons. Man, if you watch Game of Thrones, House of Dragons is just lacking. It's lacking for sure, but whatever. We gotta do what we gotta do. It won't be on for 2 more years, so they got 2 years to get this better. Other than that, y'all, me and my husband went to dinner yesterday, and I had some scrimp. And other than that, I really didn't do too much of nothing but clean my house and couch rot. My favorite things to do in life. Still trying to recover from going out of town and all those great things. I went to the gym, nothing to see there. Got me some new shoes, trying to get used to running. You know how you get a new shoe and you got to get used to running and bouncing in, and we'll see how great this shoe is. We'll see. It's supposed to be one of the best. But other than that, y'all, because I'm at that age, I gotta have good shoes. Other than that, that is it. That is it. It is already August. Happy August. I don't know if I told y'all that. But yeah, my mom's birthday is coming up on Wednesday. Shout out to my mom. There's a lot of Leos around. But yeah, I really don't have nothing to yap about with y'all besides just showing y'all that huge trophy, which just cracked me up. Let's get into news. Los Angeles police in pursuit of armed suspects in a stolen vehicle. This is happening live. Neurosurgeon works to slow Alzheimer's progression, treat addiction with cutting-edge technology. Debbie is now a hurricane and is expected to strengthen as it continues to track Florida's Big Bend region. Not to be outdone by Olympics, the World Dog Surfing in the competition brought thousands of people out into the Pacific of California to watch the Cowabunga canines. If I did that to my dog, her better be scared to death. California's Park Fire, which has scorched over 625 square miles, is only one of 85 large wildfires currently burning in the U.S. It's 85 happening right now. I know it's been extremely hot. So annoying when this happens. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on. Anti-immigration protests escalated into riots in the UK this weekend as protesters attacked police guarding a hotel housing asylum seekers. Everybody fed up with this stuff, huh? Vice President Harris is closing in on naming her running mate. It's probably going to be that one dude. President Biden has declared an emergency across the state of Florida as Debbie is striking. Following a photo finish golden medal for Noah Lyles, the U.S. leads Olympic medals in count of 71 overall. And I have the video, but it was so close. I think he won by 0.5 milliseconds. A lot of the Jamaicans was not mad. They said Paris would go down for this. Nearly 100 people were unalived and hundreds more injured Sunday as renewed anti-government protests swept across Bangladesh. I guarantee you we're taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online and running away themselves. That's what the UK Prime Minister said. Bobby Finke won gold and set a world record in the 1,500-meter freestyle Sunday, giving the United States a huge boost on the final night of swimming at the Paris Olympics. They were swimming their butts off. With what the historic prisoner swap might mean for the future, I don't know. UAW President Shawn Fain says Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, the Minnesota Governor Tim Walz are union's top two picks for vice president. I mean, if Kamala picks a union dude, she gonna get a lot of love from people. That's the dude that she might pick. Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania. The United States set 2 world records on the final night of swimming. Kristen Faulkner timed her attack to perfection to win the women's road race at the Paris Olympics, becoming the first American rider in 40 years to win a medal event. And she was like 3 kilometers above everybody. Once again, I try to watch the Olympics when I was working out, and it just tires me out so much watching these people. The decade-old question about how a unalived bear cub ended up in Central Park beneath the old bicycle has been answered. Robert F. Kennedy confessed that he was behind the incident after a fact-checker from New York called him to verify the story. He put the bear cub there. SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket carried a Northrop Grumman Syngas cargo ship loaded with more than 4 tons of supplies, spare parts, and fresh food and science gear blasted off for the International Space Station. Yeah, because them people gonna be without food soon. The statue of Anne Frank in Amsterdam was defaced with pro-Palestinian graffiti for the second time. Scott Scheffler added an Olympic gold medal to his already astonishing season after he held all challenges from Tommy Fleetwood and Heidi Matsuyama in a thriller at Lake Off. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said newly arrived F-16 jets will boost the country's efforts against Russia, but I heard Trump congratulated Putin today. Philip Petit looks back on his phenomenal 1974 Twin Towers walk. Novak Djokovic wins Golden Slam after beating Carlos Alcaraz for Olympics men's singles final. He said he wants to play for the United States, though. The United States is advising citizens to get out of Havana right now because preparing for whatever that may come, but is no prediction about future events, the deputy of NSA said. J.D. Vance is calling himself the most labor-friendly senator in Congress is a complete joke. That's what the UAW president said. Said J.D. Vance is a fraud. He's not for working-class people. Team USA gymnast Sunny Lee won a bronze on the uneven bars. Nancy Pelosi is coming out with a new book, The Art of Power. Second gentleman Doug Emhoff admits in an affair during his first marriage, and that the lady that he had a baby with had a miscarriage. Doug was out in them streets. Kamala is leading Donald Trump among women voters. They overwhelmingly think her policies would help women's interests if elected. IHOP is serving. We've talked about that. Dutch scientists have unveiled the country's first laboratory to research how autonomous miniature drones can mimic insects. Under a rule proposed by the Department of Transportation, the airline would be required to see parent. Okay. This is all kind of repetitive, so let's see what I liked. So this is funny. And I guess it's true. This Olympian lost a pole vault of, his junk knocked. He should have tucked that. It cost him. So, 88 years ago, yesterday, Jesse Owens won his first Olympic gold medal. He humiliated Hitler at the Berlin Olympics by winning 4 Olympic medals. Hitler had hosted the Olympics intending to showcase Aryan supremacy. On August 3rd, Owens won a 100-meter dash with a time of 10.3 seconds. And then he won the long jump with 8.6, which is 26 feet and 5 inches. And on August 5th, he won the 200-meter sprint with a time of 20.7 seconds, defeated teammate Mike Robinson. On August 9th, Owens won his 4th medal in the 4x100 sprint relay when head coach Lawson Robertson replaced the Jewish-American sprinters Marty Glickman and Sam Stoller with Owens and Ralph Metcalf, who teamed with Frank to set a world record of 39.8 seconds in the event. Owens had initially protested the last-minute switch. And then Hitler said this: the Americans should be ashamed of themselves, letting Negroes win their medals for them. I shall not shake hands with this Negro. On the other hand, Hitler also sent Owens a commemorative inscribed cabinet photograph of himself. And Owens said Hitler didn't snub him, FDR actually did. He said that the president didn't even send him a telegram. So that's a little history for you guys. Alright. Let's see what else is going on around East Town. Lil Wayne is selling his 90s lyrics notebook for $5 million. Hey, somebody might buy it. Trump makes a claim about the Algerian boxer that everybody thought was a man, but I told y'all that was a woman. Trump said, does anyone notice that Kamala doesn't do interviews? That's because she's really dumb. She's unable to speak properly without a teleprompter. She's extremely low IQ, and our country does not need someone who is unable to put 2 sentences together. She can't, and besides, we just got finished with that. His name is Sleepy Joe Biden. You know one thing about Trump, he gonna give you a dig. Alright, let's see what TMZ got going on. Will Smith, and I watched this video, he was out in Zurich, which he said it was feeling like I Am Legend, which is in Switzerland, but he was literally walking the streets and nobody was there. He said he was having like a I Am Legend flashback. But it was pretty funny, like he was up just walking the streets of Zurich by himself. Zac Efron is feeling fine after a hospital stay. Paris Hilton, even living moms have messy rooms. Okay. I don't know what that's about, but they're having some battle. Italian swimmer Thomas sick and tired of the Olympic Village. I'm sleeping outside. People are thinking them cardboard beds. Morgan Wallen Young concert, cops arrest a man threatening to unalive Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. Oh, you know they wasn't having that. True polite crime. LA burglar leaves an apology note. Sorry, but drugs are expensive. Well, you know. Britney Spears' sons want a reunion with Jamie Spears. Not Britney, though. They want one with Grandpa. Jelly Roll epic choke slam at WWE's SummerSlam. Okay. Jelly Roll ain't did that. Justin Bieber, you asked where's the love? Here's my love, my beautiful pregnant wife. Justin Bieber looks like he's excited for his baby. Alright, I think none of this other news is going to be important. Alright, let's see what's happening in Reddit land. What is your oh crap, this person is a psychopath moment when meeting people? These days, it could just be anything. They could be smiling weird. They could be having a trench coat on. If I see somebody in a trench coat, I immediately am feeling away. I was walking my dog down a main road, and a lady was walking her dog off the leash. Her dog stopped in the road, causing cars to stop. She had no control over her dog. Lunged for my dog. I asked her to put her dog on a leash. She said she will stamp on my dog's head and let her dog unalive mine, and knew it wasn't even worth arguing with crazy, so I carried on my walk. She then set her house on fire 2 weeks later with her children inside. Luckily, they were okay, but yeah, madness. Was chatting away with a guy in a pub, seemed like a normal, nice dude, got on really well. At some point in the conversation, he casually mentions he's not long out of jail for torturing a guy. He never said torturing, he said what he did to him. He slipped it into the conversation so casually as if he was telling me about running to the shop for a pint of milk. Never saw it coming, asked around another day, and confirmed he wasn't full of it. I wouldn't have had to ask around. That would have been the last time I would have talked to him. Wow. Some of these are too long. I was friends with a couple. The wife made up an affair with me to hurt the husband's feelings. The husband showed up in my condo with a pew-pew and was detained by the security guards and later the police. I had no idea about any of it until later when the condo security contacted me. I don't know why some people do that. That jealous thing is crazy. My brother as a kid, he used to enjoy watching animals pass away. As an adult, there were plenty of moments which reminded me that he was a little changed. The scary thing was the complete indifference he would display when you tried to explain why doing stuff like that was wrong. It was like the thing that would normally naturally horrify people over committing such incidents was completely lacking in him. I met the new boyfriend of an acquaintance, and within 10 minutes of the conversation, he was referring to women as holes. It was amazing how I suddenly remembered that my husband had requested I come help him with something. When he just casually mentioned putting the cat in a cage and then putting the cage in water so he could watch it drown like it was no big deal. It was something everyone has done at least. Yeah. Sometimes crazy people just casually say things like, that is not normal. Men, what's one thing you wish women understood better about male sexuality? Lack of erection does not mean lack of interest. We can't directly control what goes on downstairs. Don't take us going soft to mean we aren't into you. Make me feel loved too. That we like our partners to communicate what they like and don't. Communication is sexy. I want to be seduced. Don't take for granted that I'm always 100% ready to go at the drop of a hat. Sometimes I want to be the pillow princess. Okay, pillow princess. Believe it or not, we also like kisses on the neck, kisses on our tummies. I hate the word tummy. Lips stroking the side of our hips. A little love before smashing. Instead, smashing can be way better for both parties. We ain't organic dildos. We need loving. Don't use sex as a reward system. I want you to want it because you like it. It's not a treat or a chore or whatever. If I'm not constantly messaging you, it's not because I don't care. It's that I feel secure about us and want to save any news for quality time in person, not a constant distracting stream of largely meaningless messages. Please make more sincere compliments. You don't even know the amount of times per day I think of the girl I went to 10th grade with, who once told me I was the best looking guy in school. That stuff changes our lives. We don't mind making effort, but once in a while, please go their way for us too. Make us feel wanted and appreciated. Somebody said, I just want to be a little spoon once in a while. But not in the summer, big dog, because it's too hot. Would you work 80 to 90 hours a week for $350,000 a year? For 1 year, I would, but not consistently for years. Somebody said, can I make $175,000? Working 40 to 45 hours a week. I mean, that's smart. No, what's the point? I want to live and not work. Depends on the job, and for many years, if I did this for about 4 years straight out of university into drilling industry as a contractor, I did as many contracts as I could back to back on nothing that didn't fit in my backpack, lived in hotels. During my limited time, I saved a lot of cash in all these years and set myself up for life. I'm working 80 to 90 hours a week for way less money. No, I did it for the money. Then it took years off my life. Not worth it. Yeah, it really does depend on the job too, for sure. What are your no-nos when it comes to dating? Lack of respect. Amen. Lying and dishonesty. My ex was talking nonstop about their ex. If you're still hung up on your past, you're not moving forward. Drugs, worst relationship I was in. Yelling, physical violence. Talking exists. As my late professor once said, I'll never understand why someone would be with someone else who they don't get along with. Some people like that. They get used to it. Bad hygiene, hard drug use, irresponsible with money, no work ethic, dishonesty. More than likely, if people have bad hygiene, that's a red flag that everything else is wrong in their life. If they have children, maybe when I'm older, but at 23, I don't want a kid to be a part of our relationship. Speaking rudely to people in the service industry, that's a big one. I'll never date or seek a relationship with anyone at work. That seems like a recipe for a disaster, and it is. It's a very small percentage of those that actually work. Smoking, I won't date anyone who smokes. If they're already taken or married. She doesn't care about 90s R&B and hasn't even heard of Genuine. Whenever I ask someone on a date and they say no. Heavy drinkers. Yeah, you gotta watch that, because sometimes you think you're just going out and somebody's having a drink when they go out, but then it's just like their normal thing. It's like, yo. Alright, let's get into these story times, see what I got. So this is that final in that race today. It literally was like so close. So they hadn't even announced the Jamaican dude one at first. Dang.
Guys, court just wrapped up, and we learned something huge today. Richard Allen confessed over 60 times to taking the life of Abby and Libby, and it's been recorded. Here are some details that have just come out as court has just wrapped up. This is Tuesday evening, July 31st. So here are the details. So Attorney Diener called to the stand Detective Brian Harshman. Now, Brian Harshman has been with the Indiana State Police for 30 years. He spent 17 of those as a detective. So in January of 2020, he reached out to Homan, who is one of the lead detectives on the case, and was offering his assistance. So he joins the double murder case of Abby and Libby in Delphi, Indiana in March of 2020. He makes the decision that they need to start monitoring all phone calls, all text messages, and anything that goes in and out of prison under the PIN number that is related to Richard Allen. So on March 21st, 2023, Richard Allen tells Dr. Walla, who has been assigned to his case, that he has given his life to Christ. And at that time, the confessions start piling up. So on the stand today, Detective Harshman says that Richard Allen confessed 60 plus times, and these confessions contained detail that only someone who was at the crime scene would have knowledge of. Now, he also says that he made 40 additional confessions that were broad statements of his guilt, things like, I'm sorry for what I did, and things that did not contain detail. So over 100 confessions, only 60 of them being counted by Detective Harshman as those with detail. So these confessions have come in hours of recorded audio and video, and some of them came via telephone call, text message, and video surveillance. If you'll remember, at one point during his incarceration prior to court, he was under 24/7 video surveillance. One of the statements that Richard Allen made to his family was that he did not want his family to go through a trial that played out in public because he apparently does not want them to live through and experience the things that they are going to hear when all of his confessions start coming out. He also reportedly tells his wife during one of his phone calls that he does not know if he is going to make it to heaven, even though he has given his life to Christ. He does not know if he will make it to heaven to see her and his mother because of the things that he's done. So what do you think? Does this sound like somebody who's actually going to take it all the way to court, or are we going to end up in some kind of a plea deal so that he can avoid this for his family's sake? Huge news today, guys. Tell me what you think. Are you following this case? Because I am from Indiana. This case has just absolutely it grabbed a hold of me. It's tough. I have kids the same age as those, and I have followed this one from the very beginning. Guys,
So yeah, this guy, he did some Snapchat unalivements, and the craziest thing about this is that people are like, his wife is still showing up to court every day supporting him and telling me she loves him, and I'm like, wow, that's cray. That dude's a prime example of God don't like ugly.
Put a finger down if you ever had a boyfriend that you thought was madly in love with you and then he cheated. Put a finger down if the person he cheated on you with, you know who it was. Put a finger down if the person he cheated on you with was your friend. Put a finger down if the day he cheated on you was your birthday. Put a finger down if your grandma was supposed to be coming to your birthday party, but she said she had cramps, so she could not come. Put a finger up if when you got to your birthday, you realized that you didn't grab your money out the house, so you went back to the house to go pick up your money. Put a finger up if when you got there, you recognized the car, but you was like, it can't be that car because it ain't even from my door. Put a finger up if when you walked in, she was on top of your man riding afterwards. Put a finger down. If now, a bunch of years later, she just reached out to you and said, I'm so sorry about everything that happened between us, and I just wish that we could start over and rekindle our relationship. Put a finger down if hoes got you fucked up.
Amen and amen.
My grandpa is the motherfucking Zodiac killer, and this is not clickbait, so please, I need to power the internet to share this book market and blow my comment section up. I want to start off by saying this is not just based off physical appearance. I typed in my grandpa's name on Google the other day, and to my fucking surprise, internet sleuths have been throwing my grandpa's name around for years, connecting him as a Zodiac motherfucking killer. As you can see here in all these pictures on the screen somewhere, that it looks exactly like my grandpa. Let's talk about it. My grandpa was a Vallejo police officer, yes, the same area where the Zodiac killer's fucking killings took place. Let's move forward. Let's talk about the Darlene Sharon murder. Let me tell you, this is not in any order, but the more evidence I give you, you are going to be convinced that my grandpa is in fact the Zodiac killer. Darlene Farron and her boyfriend Mike or Matt, forgot the fucking guy's name, were driving around Vallejo one night, a night that my grandfather happened to be on duty, driving an unmarked police car and wearing plain clothes. Mike, who ended up surviving the shooting, said that they were being followed around by this car all night in Vallejo before they pulled into Blue Rock Springs. They said when they parked, the car pulled in, a man hopped out of the car, and Darlene, the girl who passed away, said, "Oh my God, that's Richard. He's gonna kill us both." Apparently, she was dating a police officer in Vallejo behind her husband's back. She was apparently a thotty. Rest in peace, Darlene Farron. So this guy in her passenger seat is one of her many boyfriends, and it was well known by her friend group that she was dating a Vallejo cop, although she never told them the name. She had a painting party at her house a few weeks before her murder, and it was said that my grandfather, Richard Hoffman, showed up uninvited, and she told her circle of friends that she is scared to death of him, and he was not invited there. My grandpa denies these claims. He says he never laid eyes on her, but then later goes on to say, "I know that she worked at a restaurant locally here in Vallejo." How the fuck have you never laid eyes on her, Grandpa? You tell me about that. Let's move forward. As Mike said, right before they got shot, she said, "That's Richard, he's gonna kill us both." My grandpa's name is fucking Richard Hoffman. Now let's talk about something else that I thought was really weird. In a letter that the Zodiac wrote, and my grandpa's police reports, and also this poem that I'm gonna talk about later, my grandpa spells the word until wrong. He spells it wrong. He puts 2 L's at the end. Where in multiple letters of the Zodiac wrote, he also spells until with 2 L's at the motherfucking end. Well, let's talk about the Sherry Bates murder that took place a couple years before the Darlene Farron murder. She was in a library doing her homework. She had just moved from Nebraska. Why do I mention that? Because my grandpa lived in Nebraska. My mother, biological mother, was born in Nebraska. My grandpa was also in the Navy. Sherry Bates' brother was also in the Navy. This is weird, right? It's all coming together. Well, this murder took place. She was at the library studying one night. She leaves and gets shot up. Well, they found a poem handwritten underneath the motherfucking desk. And forensic analysis and handwriting analysis say that it's the exact writings of the Zodiac. And they say that this is possibly the first killing that the Zodiac ever did. Well, this letter was initialed RH at the very bottom. RH, Richard Hoffman. Forensic analysis experts said that letter was written by the Zodiac, so why is no one connecting this to my motherfucking grandpa? Somebody tell me why. It is said that my grandpa and Darlene, the one who got shot in Blue Rock Springs, had a romantic sexual relationship behind everybody's back, behind my grandma's back. Let's talk about his character. My grandpa's character, he was known in my family to be abusive, controlling, manipulating, and also unfaithful to my grandmother. Now we're going to sit here and pretend that my grandpa didn't do this shit. They also say that the crime scene was tampered with. Why did Darlene's family get a call that she was shot before the cops even knew about it? And that call was placed by a payphone outside of Vallejo Police Department. Someone tell me that. And my grandpa was first on scene to that shooting. And later it was revealed that scene was tampered with. My grandpa showed up on scene within 5 minutes of the shooting being reported. He sent away the officers that responded with him. Who sends away responding officers on a possible double murder? And the crime scene was tampered with. It was later revealed. So you're still going to tell me my grandpa is not the Zodiac killer. What are we going to do about it? I don't fucking know. My grandpa's on vacation in a grave somewhere.
I was wondering if he was still around. But this guy's making a lot of sense. So this is the after effect of this video that this girl's gonna put a finger down. So she took this guy to the Bahamas, flew first class, and then look at his face the whole time. He doesn't seem excited at all. I mean, it's just la-di-dee, la-di-da. They stayed at a nice suite, like really nice. Everything was nice, and yeah, he's just like out here. So here's our video next.
Put a finger down if you spend almost $8,000 on a surprise trip to Bahamas for your now ex-boyfriend because you wanted to show appreciation to him because you felt like he was a pretty good boyfriend for that year, and also because you wanted to lift up his spirits because business wasn't really doing that well, and you wanted to show him a pretty good time. Now, even though you've been to Bahamas before, it didn't matter to you because this trip was not about you. This trip was specifically about him, bringing up his spirits and making sure that he has a good time. So you plan this out for 2 months, and you tell him that you're going to AZ for an influencer trip, and you want him to come with you. So of course he agrees to come, and the day of the trip, you surprise him with the trip with the index card challenge. So keep in mind, he has no idea where he's going. You paid and booked for everything, and you specifically picked Bahamas because when you guys first started talking, he told you he always wanted to go to Bahamas. So as you're revealing each index card to him, it's just making you happy because you're seeing his eyes light up, and it's just making you really joyful because you just feel like you're just taking the pressure off his back for everything he's going through at the time. You go to Bahamas, you're excited, you're having fun, both of you are having fun, and then you come back home. So this is where shit goes left. Yeah, this is where shit goes left. So at this time, it's maybe about a week since you guys came back from your trip, and you go through your phone and you see you have all these index card videos. So you're like, you know what? Let me just put together this video. The index card challenge is pretty popular. I'm just gonna put this video together, and I'm gonna have him post it on his page because it probably do a little bit of numbers, and it'll bring a lot of traffic to his page, and that traffic will, they'll probably convert into clients, and clients will convert into coins, okay? So, do a little bit of numbers because, a woman spending money or flying out a man, it's just like, who does that? So that would bring traffic. It'll do a little bit of numbers. So you thought wrong. So your boyfriend at the time posts the video, and day by day, the views skyrockets. It goes from 300,000, 500,000, all the way up to 10 million views. So you and your man is here wondering why this video is going so viral, because in the beginning, you were getting really, really, really good comments. Like, you had a lot of good comments. But then, the bad ones came. The bad ones came rolling in, and then you started realizing why this was going so viral. It was going viral because they were coming at your man's reaction, girl, or the reaction he didn't have. Because your man's reaction was nonchalant. Your man didn't really have a reaction because every time your man picked a card and it said, you're going to Bahamas, or it said, first class, there was no smile. It was just, oh. And everybody was like, are you, what? Girl, you might want to get a new man. So you're just here getting dragged in the comments being told that you need a new man. Yeah. Now, you can kind of understand why the people in the comments were so mad and annoyed at your man's reaction at the time, because a lot of women would not do that. A lot of women wouldn't even buy a 4 for a nigga. And here this woman go, here you go. Like, there's no occasion. You're doing this just because you want to see your man happy, just because you want to make your man's life just a little easier. And that's his reaction. So they're mad for you. They're mad for you. They want better for you. So you can kind of understand why. But at the time, you thought you knew your man. You're just like, no. But you did it, man. You did it. So as we in the comments, sticking by your man, sticking up for your man, just for a year later, during your last argument, after you break up with him, he looks you in your face and he says, what the fuck have you ever done for me? Your face. Why is he saying this? With the almost $10,000 pendant chain dangling from his neck. So you point at the chain, he looks at the chain, and he looks you in your face again, screams, and says, yeah, because that's the only shit you got right in this relationship. He says that to you. After all this, he says that to you, so yeah. Put a finger down.
Man, you don't wake me up because I brought you some damn shit. Dude, you are crazy as hell. I can't get putting on that big old something. You ain't hugging them big granddaddy like you a real boy. You better bump something, nigga. You're real.
Granddaddy said, boss up. You can't be hugging on no real player.
Everything come from outside is denied. And of course you have no phones. And even there are available few phones, those are the elite who can use, but you are only allowed to call within the country, and messages and calls are tapped. There is no internet, no YouTube, no Facebook, no Zoom. You can have jeans, because jeans, they say, it's American production, and America is the greatest enemy. You only have certain hair types in this country. It's a tragic joke. If you have, like, leader's hairstyle, you end up in prison in North Korea, which is true. And what about the freedom movement? Having mentioned, in the UK we live a privilege where you can travel between London, Manchester, Birmingham, anywhere, just trying to get on trains. In North Korea, every step of the movement within towns, villages, you need travel permissions and documents to travel. And TV, when you buy TV, police come and take all channels out. And they leave only one channel. You meant to watch the Kim family program 24/7. That's why when you were born, we did not expect to leave the country. We wouldn't ever think of that because we were born without passport in this country. This is what we call prison country.
Kim Jong-un got here to keep his hand strong with them people over there. He don't play. Imagine how much content you have to have a 24/7 Kim Jong-un family. Like, it's got to be stressful for him to make some entertainment, I would think. But anyway, y'all, that's the show today. I enjoyed y'all.